We've come down into this lake to photograph these flamingos, which I'll show you in a minute. I've been looking for them the last week, and considering it's a flock of 250, maybe 500 birds, you'd have thought I found them by now. But they tend to move around the different lakes, and here they're parked right in the middle. If I just take you up there and then take you around, look, there you go, you can just about see them right in the middle of the lagoon here. This is a lagoon, okay? They allow the water in from the far corner there. They flood this, and then they use this as a feeder for the salt pans, which are down there, okay? And then they let a certain amount of water through, they let it evaporate, and they control which ponds have which water and whatever. They're testing them on a daily basis. But salt's big money, always has been. So anyway, what I also wanted to, if I can just put back down here, the feather bed like that should be okay. And if I step back a little bit, one of the problems I'm always having is, you can see it, I don't know whether you can see my boots, proper Gary glitters, okay? Because we're still on the edge of the lake here, it's a mess. So this means I don't really want to put the rucksack on the floor. So this is a Mindshift 180. I've had it for about 2 years. I think this model's probably been out for about 3 years. But I bought it second hand off a guy that bought one for his wife, and she didn't like it, so I got it nice and cheap. But the idea of it is that you can actually access the whole rucksack without actually putting it on the floor. And I'll give you a little demo now. I've got this flap up at the back in a minute. I'll just put it down there like that. So all I do is release the magnetic catch on the side here, and this flap comes up at the side. Slacken the belt off a little bit, and then grab it and swing it around. Hence the 180. All right. And then I can just flip the top up. This is my converter, because we're going to need a converter for these chickens over there, because they're more or less 500 meters away. So then I get the converter out, like so. Take the 2 caps off of that. Pop that rascal back in there ready. And then what I can do is just come over here, take the camera off the back, and then keep everything nice and safe. We clip that on there like that. This Z9, unlike a lot of other mirrorless cameras, has a shield that comes across the sensor that you can see in there, or you can't see. You can't see the sensor because there's a shield that comes down, and that protects the sensor while you've got the lens on. So I'll put the converter on. You can't see me doing that, just take my word for it. I'm putting the converter on. All right, and then we can whoop the camera back up there again and pop that on. Okay, unclip that, and that's that job done. And we haven't had to put the rucksack on the floor. Do the rucksack back up again. And then it's just a case of flipping it back in and around. Job done. And the rucksack is back ready for carrying again. No mud, because you get this mud on your gear and it takes forever to get it off. You're probably thinking, oh, how do you get to the rest of the rucksack? Well, that's fairly straightforward as well. So take off the shoulder strap, which holds the 2 shoulder straps together. Okay, pop the left one off, and then swing the whole thing around on the waist strap. Put it in front of you, and there you are. You got yourself a little work table there if you want to, and then you undo the back, and I can access drone, whatever I got in here is a filter holder for another camera, and various other bits. Binos are in the top there, so real easy. And then all I gotta do is just sling it back on my back, like so. Arm the strap, if I can find it. And at no time I had to put the rucksack down. It's actually a marvelous bit of kit. I can't praise it enough. It's now, it's he's got to be 3 years old, over 3 years old, and I give my kit a hideous treatment. He's riding around on the back of the bike, it's chucked everywhere, it gets chucked in and out of the van, and it's more or less used continuously every single day. And I've not had to repair or sew up, or I've changed a lie actually. A lie, one of these fancy buckles, which are really good, busted, so I had to go and put my own. But that was just the spring part back here that busted, which is a bit of a shame, but that's the only thing that's ever busted. So, marvellous bit of kit. It's called Mindshift 180. You can still get them. I think they call them the Mindshift Rotation now, because obviously 180 is confusing people. Because you could have 180 litre rucksack, perhaps not. But anyway, it was confusing people. And so, good bit of kit. Highly recommended. Get one.
Well, here we go as promised. These are the flamingos. A heron flying around there as well. It is a massive flock, and some of them look to be sleeping and others feeding. They're still at quite a distance. It's strange, it's difficult to find information about how many and where they are and how long they stay and where they stay, but these are, I assume, resident and you know, live here all the way. Oh, look out, it's kicking off there. But they seem to have it measured as well. They're right in the middle, so it doesn't really matter which side I go, you're still this distance away from them, which is quite a long way. Well, you could see that when I showed you earlier on. They were hardly visible. This is using the 600mm lens with a 1.4 converter on it. Later I shall try getting even closer. Still going. There's got to be over 500 birds, I think. There we go. That's it. Looks like a diver on the end there. Very nice. Over here we've got a single pelican. Probably a Dalmatian pelican, and it's not the first time I've seen this. They must get injured on the migration and just stop here, and then they'll live the rest of their lives here. He seems happy enough. He must be able to catch fish, otherwise he'd be dead by now. Right, we've actually zoomed in again here now. So this is a 600mm lens, and it's got a 1.4 converter on it, which takes it to 900-ish, and then with a I've cropped it in camera, which gives me a field of view equivalent to about 1200-ish. It's looking like it's fairly good quality. I could be wrong, but looking through the viewfinder it looks okay.